Hey, you want to avoid losing your shit during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday extravaganza this year? Yeah, you do. I thought so. Well, today I'm going to share 3 different ways that you can use your breath so that you can breathe to succeed, baby. And if you haven't yet, this is literally your last chance to grab the Breathe to Succeed breathwork bundle because it's going to go poof and disappear on November 11th. And it's only 11 bucks. And if you want to go navigating through those holidays without pulling your hair out or having the messy meltdown at the ugly sweater Christmas party, grab it and thank me later. You will 1000%. Literally, the reviews are so incredible. And I mean, your breath is practically the Swiss Army knife of life skills. And when you know how to use it, like you're going to learn how to do in today's episode of the Purposeful Powerhouse podcast, it unlocks a whole new world. Okay? Trust me. Because the ancients have known this for a long time. I guess that's why they're ancients, but the yogis, the beautiful, rich traditions and cultures around the world, martial artists here in Hawaii, people have revered the breath for a long time. But modern science, neuroscience, behavioral science, like positive psychology, they have all caught up with this deep, ancient, innate knowing that your breath is literally the most powerful tool that you have, and it will take you to places that you've never even imagined because it's that powerful, right? Some people equate breath work to being as powerful as taking psychedelics sometimes, and I agree. I agree. If you do it intentionally, if you do it in a really safe way, in a supported way, it can literally unlock within you such higher levels of awareness and presence and wisdom and intuition. My goodness, it's so incredible. So let's talk about the hecticness of the holiday season and some ways that you're welcome. You might be able to use your breath. Okay. So let's talk about first and foremost that stressed AF. Oh my goodness. I have a deadline. I need to get all this stuff done, but I don't know what to do. And you're literally on the verge of one of those, like the meltdowns, right? Somebody says the right thing, somebody says the wrong thing, and there you are. Lost it. Okay. Been there? No? No. Yeah, I know. Me too. It's happened. So how can you use your breath to express the stress, right? How can you use your breath to get it out of your body? Well, just think about it for a second, right? So the out breath is literally when we exhale or we expire or we release the breath out of the body. So when you intentionally focus on the exhale, it allows that release or that letting go of energy. So if you are stressed AF and you are just wound so freaking tight because you've only been drinking oat milk lattes and you haven't eaten since those 2 almonds that you threw back, 4 hours ago, and you're cranky and you're feeling it and you're feeling like a tightly wound ball of stress, like the Tasmanian devil on on like a moment, having a moment. Here's what you can do. Do it with me. Okay, so do it with me. If you're driving or walking, be mindful of your surroundings. If you are just casually listening, sitting still, or watching me on the YouTubes, which BT dub, if you are a listener on other platforms, you get even more fun when you watch me on YouTube because I don't know if you've guessed this about me, but I'm rather animated and it's like watching a cartoon. Okay, so at least in my humble opinion of viewing my own videos. So back to you. How do we get some of that stress the heck out of your body? Because we know stress. Anyways, I'm going to get sidetracked and talk about how stress is awful for our immune system and related to every major chronic disease and all of that stuff. But in relation to you having a successful holiday sales season, back on track, Megan, I tell you, there's like a million squirrels in my brain, which I will teach you a breath technique in a moment for. So when you are in that really wound up, amped up state, here's what we're going to do. As we breathe in, we inhale through our nose. And then as you breathe out, I call it the silent scream. Classically, it's called Simhasana Pranayama. So Simha is a lion and prana is energy, and yama is control. So it's a control of the breath like a lion's roar. Okay, so or I call it the silent scream. So you can have an outside sound to it, an out loud sound to it, or you can just in with the breath, or just using the exhale. And if you are feeling particularly wound up, the more you can release and the more you can engage about this pranayama or this breath on the exhale, the better. What am I talking about? So classically, when we do Simhasana, we open our mouth really wide, we stick out our tongue, we open our eyes really wide, and you spread your palms wide like the paws of the lion. Okay, so think like Gene Simmons, the guy from Kiss, or if you've ever watched or seen the New Zealand All Blacks, and they do their haka, which is like a warrior activation dance, which BT dub is badass and like would scare the hell out of anybody or intimidate or inspire at the same time. So this is how you can do it. So just kind of take all of those images, right? And if you're like, I don't know what the haka is, what are you talking about? Think about a lion when they roar and they open their mouth really big. More than likely you've seen that, okay? So what you're gonna do is inhale through your nose, and as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that you're gathering up all of that pent-up frustration, all of the, being pissed off that your computer ate your email sequence and you're about to lose your shit through your computer. So you just imagine that you're gonna gather all of that up. And then as you exhale, open your mouth really wide. Think like crazy face extravaganza, okay? So ready, breathe in. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue, open your eyeballs like you're trying to scare the shit out of somebody, okay? Try it again. If not only for the laugh you will get, it is rather cathartic. Ready, go. And you can growl, you can roar, make it your own, darling. There's no rules about this. Ready, go again. And literally, the more you put into that exhale, the more you are releasing out of your body. Okay, you get me? You get me on that? So that's the first one. Okay, so when you are feeling that like bubbling, boiling pot of water energy and you're about to lose it, right? So this is kind of like taking the lid off the boiling pot of water and turning the heat down so that it doesn't explode everywhere. That's what this breath does. Okay, so keep that in your beautiful mind. And then the second one is, we will call this one the blinking cursor. So, those moments when you sit down and you're all right, content creation time. Here I go. Here I go. Viral reel. Here I come. And you're all hell bent on doing something and getting something done and checking it off your list. And your brain has other plans. And you're just sitting there and you're just looking at the blink, blink of the cursor on the blank Google Doc, or the totally blank screen on Canva, except for, you've made the Instagram post and you've made it the background your brand color, and you're just staring at it like you're staring into the abyss of the internet and wondering how the heck you're supposed to come up with something inspiring here that will, help to connect with your community and, be valuable. And all your brain has to say is you feeling me on that? Let me know. Let me know. Okay. So, mine does that. And it's funny because it'll do that at, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I wanted to do something. At 3 o'clock in the morning, it's got all sorts of things to say. We're going to talk about that next. So we will call this one the blinking cursor breath. So what I want you to do is you're going to bring your fingertips together, all of your fingertips, okay? So you create a circuit between your hands and your heart. And when we bring our fingertips together in Hakini Mudra, the mudra of the mind, it actually stimulates the two hemispheres of your brain where they get connected in the middle, which is called your corpus callosum. It stimulates that band of connective tissue. So it's said to activate the brain. And apparently if we were to put the readers on your brain, we could actually have measurable increase in electroactivity in your brain just by bringing your fingertips together. Okay, so PS, when you can't find your phone next time, bring your fingertips together and hopefully you'll remember where it is. So what we're gonna do here is, as your fingertips are together, unless you're driving, keep your hands on the wheel and just remember it for another time, is we're going to take a 3-part inhale. So we sniff, 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 and then out through the mouth. Okay, ready? Mm. Mm. Okay, so that's the pattern. The fingertips are together. Only if it's safe for you to do so, I would invite you to close your eyes and take your eyes in and up at the Ajna chakra, the third eye point. Okay, so into the center of the forehead, right? Sorry about the binging and bonging in the background if you can hear it. So we take our internal gaze, our inner eye, up toward the third eye point. Okay, so again, we've created this communication network through the brain itself. We're taking our attention up to the third eye point, right, with the intention of just clearing the mind, opening yourself up to inspiration, intuitive guidance, and intention, right? The original AI, your attention on the intention. You're not necessarily in this moment like, I need to think of a content idea right now. Just allow yourself to just breathe and just connect to the power of your AI, your attention intention, connect to that clarity, connect to, open your crown chakra, connect to your channel, whatever, like go as far down the channel of rabbit hole using all the tools that you're into and open to, go for it, right? So yes, and you can plant that intention of, I'd love to create something that would inspire deep connection with my community, that will be of value, like whatever you want, okay? Whatever you want. Open your mind, plant the intention, whatever you want. Okay, so we're sitting tall, your fingertips are together. Your internal eye is in and up at the blank screen of the forehead, the mind's eye, and we're keeping our eyes up there and we're doing that breathing pattern. Ready? And as you do it, move the breath up your body from your belly to your chest to your upper chest. And then we just let go of any block or obstruction. Okay. So, and as you breathe out, carry with it some of that feeling of, if there is any feeling of frustration or any energetic block or whatever, right? So we're breathing in and breathing out. And if you want to add an extra layer, you can just imagine that the divine, your unseen team, whatever that is for you, is literally just tapping you on the center of the forehead to awaken that seat of inspiration even more. Okay. So that is the second breath. We'll call that the blinking cursor breath, using Hakini Mudra, the mudra of the mind, right? When your fingertips are together. And then finally, we call this one the regulator. All I can hear is that Warren G song. Regulators, mount up. Just aged myself there, I'm sure. Some of you might be like, yeah, I know that song. So the regulator. So we talked about the 3 a.m. or sorry, we talked about the 3 p.m. blank screen, blank cursor syndrome. Let's talk about the 3 a.m. brainstorming party. Yeah, that's the thing, right? At least in my world, where your brain, maybe not brainstorming work ideas, probably more along the lines of what the hell am I even doing with my life? What is happening right now? And like pondering every mistake you've ever made, or the fact that, like if you, when I used to work in hospitality, here, I'll give you an example. So when I used to work in hospitality as a server, I would wake up in the middle of the night and have the thought, oh, I never brought table 11 their lemons. Because what's happening in the night is that your brain is actually wiring memories, it's processing information. That's where it absorbs things that you've learned and you've done over the course of the day. And another random funny story with that is when I first started, when I was doing my yoga teacher training, I literally would wake up and I was talking myself through the poses, and I was taking my partner at the time and I was like trying to move his arm and telling him to do different yoga poses because my brain was trying to practice it. So what I'm saying is, hopefully you can relate to the fact that sometimes your brain likes to wake you up in the middle of the night to what I call the anxiety alarm clock, and you wake up feeling like you are maybe running a marathon of like mentally running through every thought and your heart is just boom, 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 pounding, or just waking up into that feeling of dread or freak out, or like, what the hell am I even doing with my life? Am I cheapening my brand by doing a Black Friday deal? Like, pondering the mysteries of life, if you will, or entrepreneurship, because let's be real, there's one or two. So the regulator. When we talk about regulation, which you probably know by now if you've been listening to the show, or we hang out and work together, or you just happened upon me by some magic of the internet, I will remind you that when we're talking about regulation, we're always talking about Warren G. I had to go back to it. If you know, Google it. It's funny. It's a good song. We're always talking about the nervous system, how we can regulate the nervous system, how we can take it from being in a reactive state, which the anxiety alarm clock would qualify as, to a regulated state. And really, that's the work of being aware of where we're at and noticing, and then using these tools to regulate and soothe your nervous system, to process some of that stress energy, and then just to come back to that place of connected awareness within yourself, where you're really in your center, where you're feeling grounded, where you, in the case of the 3 a.m. wake up call, you are quieting everything down so that hopefully you can go back to sleep. Okay. In the way that our brain is wired, it's the, oh my goodness, okay, we ran from the saber-toothed tiger and we caught our breath and we brought our breath to a regulated state and now we're okay, right? But in our modern day, we don't really have that output of energy that our ancient ancestors did, having to run, right? And that's why the first breath of using Simhasana and having the out breath is really powerful. Okay. And so also, inside Breathe to Succeed, the breathwork bundle, we do a lot more of the moving practices to move the stress energy out of your body in different ways. And that's also why exercise is so important, right? And so that's why inside the Rise and Vibe movement, which is my core community, that I'm so excited and honored and proud of all the people in there that are just doing such amazing things. But it's really bringing yourself back to that place where you feel as though, although this is an illusion as well, that you're in control. Because, let's be real, life is crazy and we're never really in control, but that's a whole other episode and a ball of wax. So when you are able to use your breath very intentionally and bring it to a steady rhythm, so that you can use the most powerful tool you have, right? The Swiss Army knife of life skills, your breath, to directly affect the state of your nervous system by way of regulating the rhythm of your your breath rhythm, which then impacts your heart rate rhythm, which then impacts your brain rhythms and waves, which then impacts the stress chemicals and hormonal response that you're having. So your breath is literally that like golden thread or the direct line, right, to that ability to regulate. So when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're having those 3 a.m. brainstorming sessions, or you're just having that pontification of the entrepreneur mysteries, and you're like, bloody hell, it's 3 a.m. Which, BT dub, happened to me last night, which is why I'm extra loopy pants today. As you may or may not know, I'm always properly ridiculous, but I'm like properly ridiculous today, in case you haven't caught that vibe. So when and if that happens for you, then we want to use the regulator. And the regulator is a really controlled, paced breath where we begin to expand the belly and we inhale into the belly, into the chest for about 4 counts. And then we exhale for 8. So the exhale is very smooth, and imagine that, remember when you were little and you blew up a balloon and you let the air out of the balloon and it was like, and it made that squeak? It's almost as though the balloon has a really slow leak to it. And we want to smooth it out and stretch it for as long as you can. Here's the caveat. If doing it to 8 counts makes you feel a bit fidgety, panicky, anxious. It's defeating the purpose, which you probably figured out, but just as a reminder, because sometimes us high-performing hyperachievers want to make sure we do everything perfectly and we push ourselves, and that defeats the purpose also. So what we want to do is on the inhale, we breathe into our belly through our nose. And then as we exhale and breathe the breath out through the mouth, relax even more with every count. Okay, so you mentally count it to yourself. And this is not one to do when you're driving. Okay, so this is a very relaxed breathing. This is direct line to the parasympathetic nervous system, direct line to that rest and digest, stay in place state. So we want to make sure you're doing it only in a very safe environment. And when you are doing it, placing your attention on that desire to just let out whatever it is that woke you up and to relax yourself and your physical body even more deeply. Every time you breathe out, and this is what I was doing last night, is that every time I breathed out, every count, I literally just felt myself letting go even more into the bed. Kind of like if you were an ice cube, and as you let the breath out, you could feel the ice cube melting into a puddle. And eventually you get so relaxed that you are just like a puddle of ease and calm and spaciousness. You have melted into an ocean of deep calm, so deep that you would make the Buddha proud. Not that the Buddha would be proud, but just for funnies, that's how proud. That's how relaxed you'd be. So that one is one to keep in your back pocket. So we want to breathe in for 4, and we work towards a doubling of the exhale so that we can really stretch it out. And again, you can always just make it longer if the 8 is feeling like too much. So if you happen to encounter some of these emotions during the hecticness of the holidays, keep these breath pattern in mind, in heart, in your back pocket. Okay, so put them in your back pocket like that Swiss Army knife of life skills that it is. And that is such a beautiful gift that you can give to yourself so that you can navigate the holidays, right? So that you can cruise through it smoother than Santa on his sleigh. So speaking of that, as you know, we are getting close to the big day, and the big day being Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday, the whole shebang that is that crazy weekend, and then into the holidays of, more into the giving season. So make sure to give yourself a gift. Grab the Breathe to Succeed Breathwork bundle. It literally is only available until November 11th because it's designed for the holidays, but it's going to disappear before they start. So you got to grab it now so that you have this tool set to use so that you can tap into Calm on Demand. The breathwork practices, the Power Pause breathwork practices that I take you through are only 10 minutes. Each one has a totally different theme. Each one will teach you 3 different breathwork techniques that you can use together in that Power Pause session or individually anytime you need to. And so the first one is Ocean of Calm, which drops you into that ocean of calm so deep you'll make the Buddha proud. The second one is Tap into Inspiration, which will help you to tap inspiration faster than you can open your laptop and bust out that Chat GPT prompt and then make it a little better, because that generic stuff is not what you want to serve as part of your brand, right? No, you floof it up and make it yours. So faster than you can do that, you can tap into inspiration with the second Power Pause. And then the third one is to make sure that you are merry and bright all season long, and helping you to activate that beautiful innate state of joy and playfulness, that elfish quality, if you will. Okay, so grab it now. It's only 11 bucks. And yes, there is a 100% Calm the Crazy guarantee. So if you don't feel better after one, you let me know and I'll give you your 11 bucks back. Okay, no problem. No harm, no foul. So that's all for today. I hope you have an incredible day. I hope that you grab the Breathe to Succeed breathwork bundle, because if I do say so myself, it's pretty damn fantastic and will help you to not lose your shit during the holiday season or in the middle of the night when you have that brainstorming session. So yeah, thank you for learning how to use your breath like the powerful tool that it is, so that you can move it through your body to keep it strong and healthy and energized, so that you can show up as your purposeful powerhouse self, because that is your badass, aligned, vibrant, energized, healthy, happy self in any situation, whether that's your prep and promo for Black Friday, or it's the ugly sweater Christmas party, or it's the tea party at your nan's house on New Year's Eve, right? So whatever it is, you get to choose how you show up when you have the tools to show up with intention. You, my friend, unlock a whole world of superpowers that you already know you have, but maybe sometimes you forget and you just need a little reminder. So there you are, reminding you of how amazing you are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your feedback on the episode. When you try the breathwork patterns I shared here or Breathe to Succeed, send me a DM. I would love to hear. I would love for you to share that with me and with the world. Tag me in your stories. Would love, 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 love to hear from you. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. And go rock those Black Friday sales, my friend. You're going to do awesome. Okay, bye.